Welcome to Edfu, everybody. The gorgeous city and temple of Edfu on the Nile. We are back in ancient Egypt and we are going to unbox some beautiful Rick Owens things, okay, from the Edfu collection, actually. Yes, he did dedicate an entire collection to the city of Edfu, and I have a sneaky suspicion also to the temple, which we have here in the background of Edfu. So everything is kind of black and white. You know, to homage Rick Owens. I know that Ricky has been also delving into color lately, pink in particular, but black and white is kind of the signature, the staple of Rick Owens. So let me show you what I got. I'm not so sure if this bag was designed already before Edfu, but it's part of the Edfu collection as well. And this would be the Griffin bag, okay? The Rick Owens Griffin bag in the medium to large size. It is gorgeous. Now, even though this video is in black and white, don't you worry. The bag is also black with silver. So it is a bit of a fingerprint magnet. It is a brushed stainless steel of sorts. So, you know, it does kind of, you can leave your fingerprints on it. Now, it is the softest peach feel, like peach skin feel lambskin leather. It has a generous quilting and it is padded. So there's a softness to this bag, which is just divine. So it's very squishy. And this chunky piece of metal, it's kind of, might be stainless steel or aluminum because it's not really very heavy. Well, it's kind of heavy, but it does have that opening underneath there, right? Where you can kind of put your finger underneath and just like pull it open. And this is a magnet closure. Look how gorgeous the leather is inside. This is not damaged, by the way. This is just natural full grain hide, and it does have natural pattern all around it. If you check out on the Rick Owens website, this bag has even more of a patina. The version that they photographed for the website is even more kind of de-stressed on the inside than the version I purchased. And also because I have a sneaky suspicion when it came to the design, he chose a leather that would give it this aura of being ancient, of coming from this mystical land of ancient Egypt, and in particular Edfu, and this temple, which was dedicated to none other than Horus. Now, as you can see here, we have a forming of none other, I can't even speak anymore, than a pyramid. But it's kind of hiding because right here, you don't really see the pyramid. What you do see when you flip the bag like this, you do have the Rick Owens inscription up here. Again, fingerprint magnet. Very, very subtle little, there it is, the Rick Owens. But more than that, I want to show you this landscape of you kind of arriving to this form, this geometric shape or architectural shape, which coincidentally is the shape of the entrance to the temple of Horus in Edfu. Now, from this angle, you might think that the building is built like a rectangle, but it's not. It has a trapezoid form. So this particular edge of the building is not straight. It does go inwards, right? And then it goes up here, then down there, then like that, like that. So what I'm saying is, architecturally speaking, I could see this landscape in Egypt on the Nile, and I could envision, because, you know, Rick Owens has been going to Egypt quite a lot. Even the latest collection coming up is Luxor. So it's dedicated to another one of the three major symbolic ancient Egyptian cities, one of them being Luxor and one of them being Edfu. So this is kind of reminiscent of a pyramid, of a temple. It does have very, very clear, for me, Egyptian kind of inspiration. It has almost something mummified in a way as well, in the way that the leather is treated. Now, it does come with a little ponticello ring, a D ring. Ponticello, because in Italian, ponticello means little tiny bridge. So you could put a bag charm there if you wish, or what have you. But the symbology of it is very particular. He does this a lot with his bags. Now, I could not tell you if this is also somehow connected to any sort of mythology or architectural inspiration from Egypt, or if it's just something that's been with Rick Owens before all of the mythology. However, the entire shape of this bag, how it is structured, how the quilting works, almost as a blueprint for a city or some sort of landscape on the Nile, is just divine. I mean, I love, 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 love how mysterious this bag looks, how it seems like it holds a secret in the way it's designed, how it looks like it has its own world to share. Now, listen, I'm a big bag collector and I love good quality bags, but you know, Rick Owens owns his own company, which is really good. And he produces within his own factory. He has also his own factory, you guys. So the leather, I do not know where the tanneries are that supply these leathers, or if he also works with tanneries, or if he owns tanneries. I do not know, but I can tell you this lambskin, on another level. Seriously, the quality is insane. So let me just take the tissue paper out and show you the interior is completely lined in lambskin leather as well. And not just any lambskin leather. It is soft as a glove. And usually where designers kind of, you know, do a little bit of cost cutting, maximizing profits and using cheaper leather is usually in the interior pockets. This, I can pull the leather out. It's also lined in leather, the interior pocket. I mean, this is the quality of lambskin leather that you would use for gloves. It's that soft, like butter. I mean, it's insane. The quality of this, dare I say, we are very close, if not on some spots with some leather bits. We're at Hermes levels here. I mean, this leather is insane. And I have a lot of leather bags in my collection. This is insane. But especially you guys, considering the price point. I personally do consider Rick Owens luxury. His brand might not be at the highest form of luxury, like, you know, in terms of how certain brands are deemed luxury, like Christian Dior, Louis Vuitton, Hermes, Chanel, you know, those are the big players. But when it comes to quality and fair pricing compared to the quality, I think this is unbeatable. Plus, I got this bag on sale, which is insane. So I actually found it 50% off. So this was way under $1,000, what I paid for. I mean, I have no words. It's just, yeah, Rick Owens. I've had a falling out of love with Chanel lately because their quality is just terrible. And then I'm kind of now gearing towards really getting more into Rick Owens. And I do love Vivienne Westwood as well. So in fact, I'm wearing Vivienne's mountain hat, Vivienne's pirate shirt from the 80s, and a Vivienne Westwood necklace. But this thing is a masterpiece. Seriously, the quality is insane. It comes with a lambskin strap, which is detachable. So another thing other luxury brands should take note of. Usually they don't let you detach the strap. Of course not. But no, Rick Owens does. So you just kind of take it off and you can, put this little D-ring inside, and the bag can turn into a clutch if you so wish to do. And also very fascinating how the shoulder strap is structured because, well, first of all, these little giblets here, they swivel, which is amazing. Which brings me to, I just noticed I still have here to peel off the tape, the protective tape, which I always recommend you guys to do because you don't want, to have your, you don't want to have your hardware tarnish with time under these synthetic plasticky bits because it could oxidize underneath there, So let me just see, is there anything more that I have to peel off on this end? No, but probably on this end, yeah, there's a little sticker here too. What is fascinating about this particular strap, shoulder strap, is that you can change the length, but not in a way that we're used to from other luxury brands. Like they give you like 6-7 holes. There you go. This is the sticker that was on it. Protective sticker on the hardware. I already peeled off the protective sticker here. No, Rick Owens does more. So you have a couple of, you see several holes. It's, you know, he gives you a lot of holes, which, there you go. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, around 12 holes. Then nothing, 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 nothing. And then here, this is the new thing that a lot of other designers don't do. There's more holes here. Here we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more holes. And you ask yourself, why there? Well, because this bag, if it's like worn like this, you can wear it crossbody and it hangs kind of on the hip. But if you were to shorten it to this hole here, okay, then you have the strap this long and now it becomes a shoulder bag. And you just put it on your shoulder and that's where it hits. Or it can be a clutch too. Another thing I find very fascinating is the little metal hooks that are made to shorten the strap are very unique. They are in a shape of, well, maybe symbols, maybe windows or cutouts of these temples, or almost they look like little tiny pyramids in their own right, because they are triangular in shape, slightly rounded on the edges, but they are triangular if you look. It's a beautifully designed hook that kind of goes outwards there. So you just take them out and then, you know, you plug them into whichever length of the hole you want and it works perfectly. Beautiful attention to detail. They have etched into the metal here on the sides the Rick Owens logo as well. It is so subtle. Now, you know, we're entering an era, actually we're already, my humble opinion, in the era of quiet luxury. Toned down, less logo, no logo, even better. And I think Rick Owens is one of the best exponents of that. And so that's why his Rick Owens logo is kind of hiding, etched up here. You don't really see it. If you look at the bag frontally, nothing is to be seen. And these little tiny hooks here have a minuscule logo, right? Do you see it right there etched into the metal? There it is. So subtle on both ends, also on this side. The interior of the bag, even though, right, fully lined in leather, they went even further and said, we are not going to just line it in leather, but we're going to give you extra pockets. So there's one card pocket right here. Then there's a bigger compartment in front of it. And then there's several card compartments right here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for 6 credit cards or business cards or what have you. Here are the slots. I mean, it's just really, really gorgeous. There you go. You see all the slots. And there you have the Made in Italy logo. These bags were made in Italy. I think in the Veneto region or somewhere around Milan, because I know he has a house and a production team working in Veneto, in Venice. And then there's also in Milano probably offices. But I do believe that the factory, Veneto is very famous for leather manufacturing in general. So this production might be somewhere in Veneto. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe outside of Florence. Who knows? It's so fascinating. Let me see the edges. It's soft as a glove. It gives me those vibes of, well, I don't know for what reason, but it gives me ancient mystical vibes, this bag. You know, it's mysterious in the right way. The quality is sublime, but it has something about it that looks so futuristic and modern, but at the same time, dated in a good way, right? It kind of almost looks as if this would be a bag of the future. It's like, it's as if ancient Egypt came from the future, very alien-like, okay? It's giving me total alien vibes. I'm so obsessed with this bag that oh, and also, by the way, can we talk about the dust bags? Rick's dust bags are to die for. They are so sturdy and thick robust. The quality is insane. You can actually literally use these as their own bags. Like you can use this as a bag, as like it's in cotton. Also, we should remember and mention, credit where credit is due. Rick is also working, just like Vivian, this is also one of the reasons why I love Vivian Westwood, on sustainability, on trying to find materials that are either recycled or recyclable or fully recycled. And the materials are very, very fascinating. You don't see much plastic or any really in his products. I mean, sure, we had the protective foil that the metal was covered with, but I don't know, maybe this is even some sort of recycled or biodegradable film. This I do not know. I would have to check it out. But the bag is fully metal and leather. And this is fully in cotton. It also has a very subtle stitched Rick Owens logo right here. So subtle. It's like, if you know, you know. This is a beautiful off gray. It's kind of like a greenish gray, if you see it in real life. Now, I loved it so much, the bag, that I could not resist. And I had to get the baby version of, oh my gosh, this one I've been wearing like crazy. I'm wearing this one a lot. This one also comes with a shoulder strap. It's the Griffin bag in small. Shoulder strap, which I took off, as you can see. I just have the little tiny D-rings. Also, I think I'm the only video content creator on YouTube that is tackling Rick Owens, but get ready to see more of Rick Owens on my channel, because I'm really, really, really liking what I'm seeing. I'm really liking the quality of his leather. I'm liking the very, very intelligent, structured approach to how he tackles design and fashion. Also, I'm getting more into his clothing. I have a pair of shoes from Rick Owens, a ton of sneakers from the era, from back in 2015 when he was collaborating with Adidas. Those are amazing. I even have the Mastodon. Those were really cool as well. But we digress. Back to the bags here. This is such a fascinating material. And so this one I've been using more, so you can see it's more glossy. So what happens is when they're brand new, this one is like literally untouched by anyone before I purchased it. It has a bit more of this peach skin, like they describe it on the Rick Owens website, peach skin texture of lambskin. But the more you use it and the more glossy it becomes, and it turns into this gorgeous, glossy, buttery lambskin texture. Oh my gosh. Isn't this divine? So this one is, because I've used it much more, you can see if I put them side by side, how this one is still a little bit mattified, and this one is this gorgeous, glossy, almost like oil slick leather. I mean, it's to die for. So it comes with the same shoulder strap as the large size, which I folded in here. But let me show you first the inside of the bag. Even the small is completely lined in lambskin leather. Chanel, take note, because as you know, Chanel, if they line their bags in leather at all, because most of them nowadays are not, but Chanel, if they do have lambskin exterior, they will still line the interior with another inferior grade leather. That's not what Rick Owens does. Rick Owens maintains the lambskin leather throughout. Now, this is something that I've only seen in this quality from Hermes. In fact, I do own the Hermes Aline bag, which is usually in canvas, but I do own the Milo lambskin version of it. Of course, if Hermes does a bag in leather, they're going to also have the interior in leather. In fact, the Aline bag that I have is also lined in lambskin leather. It's a slightly thicker lambskin than this one. So, but nevertheless, they are very comparable in terms of suppleness, texture, the smell. Just, they're not overly treated leathers, so they're not going to have that heavy leather perfume. They're going to be quite close to neutral smelling, really. You know, there's been minimal I want to say certain types of chemicals were used that are maybe less abrasive to the environment. I would hope so. From the smell, I would say possibly that's what happened. I know that Rick Owens also is working with a tannery in, I want to say, the Netherlands for a particular type of translucent white leather. But there are ways of tanning leathers with vegetal substances as well, not just using really hardcore chemicals. So I cannot tell you the exact way that they've tanned this leather, but from the smell alone, I could tell you it does not smell heavily chemically treated like some bags would from other brands. Gorgeous magnetic closure here. I mean, super delicate because I don't know, they kind of had to stretch it in order to sew around it to get the magnet to work. But since leather rubs against leather, I do hope that we'll see. Only time will tell how robust it's going to be. So you see these wrinkles? This is something that also I love about the bag representation on the website, on Rick Owens' website, because when you see the photo of this bag open on the website, like it shows a ton of wrinkles inside here. Like they really, really like the bag to look as if it came from the tomb of some ancient pharaoh. And it's on purpose. It's done on purpose. It's not a symbol of low quality. It is just, it's a design choice, and it is gorgeous. Seriously, seriously gorgeous. I mean, I have no words. Like, Rick Owens, you have completely won me over with the quality of this. This is insane. Like, seriously insane. And the shoulder strap is in here. So it's not exactly the same as the shoulder strap from the large size bag, because as you can see, I wish more people would review, especially from our luxury community. I wish that more people would review Rick Owens bags, because you guys, seriously, they're amazing. Well, I don't know if you can see, but I can see from here. It is slightly different. The thickness. Is it though? No, maybe it's the same. Let me check. You know what? No, I want to say it's exactly the same shoulder strap. It's the same thickness. So I just overlapped them. I put the large Griffin and the small Griffin on top of each other, and they are the same width. So, okay, it's the same exact strap for both of them. So deceitful. It looks different when you look at them from a distance. And it functions the same way. It has the swivel. So you can see it swivels. And then we do have the Rick Owens etched in there on both sides, also here. And then you open it up like this. The other logo that we got is right up there. The Rick Owens etched in there. This one was also made in Italy. Now let's compare the two. I do believe that they're the same size. The two metal hardware pieces, yeah, they're the same size. As you can see, they are fingerprint magnets, but you can easily, clean them, polish them off. But whatever. It's ancient mystical fashion. It's okay. It's your own fingerprint. It doesn't matter. That's fine. So gorgeous. Now I want to read to you just a short snippet that I found online about the history of the Edfu Temple. Now, the construction work of Edfu Temple began about 237 before Christ during the reign of Ptolemy III, or Ptolemy, I think it's Ptolemy III. And it was finished during the reign of Ptolemy IV in 57 before Christ. The temples, by the way, it's the temple we're talking about that's right here, that I do believe Rick Owens saw. I mean, if he dedicated the entire collection to Edfu, he must have seen the temple. The temple's construction and its additions took about 180 years. It consists of the Mamisi, which is the house of divine birth, and it consists of an entrance, a chapel, and a court. Its walls are decorated, and they show the divine birth of Horus. It consisted of of a pillared hall, 2 transverse halls, and a bark sanctuary surrounded by chapels. Many of the temple's carved reliefs were raised by followers of the Christian faith, which came to dominate Egypt. Throughout the centuries, Edfu Temple has been buried under the desert sands to the depth of 12 meters. The temple pylons were identified by the French expeditions in 1798. The French Egyptologist Auguste Mariette began to free the temple from the sands in 1860. Edfu Temple is a great example of the Egyptian temples because of its archaeological significance. Edfu Temple was built in 3 main phases. The first phase includes the original building, which is considered to be the nucleus of the temple. When the country was stable in the 5th year of Ptolemy 7th reign, the doors of the temple have been installed. The second phase includes the decoration of the temple, and among them the inscriptions. The third phase includes the construction of the columns hall. And there's a lot you can see online. The architectural elements of Edfu Temple. You can check out the description of the Edfu Temple. There is so much information about it. And I wonder, reading that Edfu Temple is the most impressive among all Nile temples between Luxor and Aswan. It is located in Edfu City, which is located 60 kilometers north of Aswan on the west bank of the Nile River in Upper Egypt. I wonder how many more... I love ancient Egypt in general, okay? So fascinated by it. But I wonder how many more collections might... Rick Owens give us inspired by Egypt. The more the better. I'm just going to say I'm loving what's coming out of his mind in these collections. From a designer point of view, such a different perspective and a different approach to Egyptian aesthetic. Because his creations, whether it be clothing, shoes, or these bags, it's like nobody has done Egypt like that before. Some of those creations some people call it the donut jackets, the really puffy ones that are kind of heavy up here. It's like a mummified version of an animal, could be an insect. There's a lot of this, could be an alien insect as well. But then again, there's a lot of people that believe that aliens did populate ancient Egypt. So the way that the clothes hit the runway for the Luxor collection or for the Edfu collection is very futuristic, but with a very clear and focused eye to the past. And the inspiration of the details utilized from the past to depict the present through Rick's clothes gives me such a vibe of somebody who has understood or has obsessively researched the history for this particular aesthetic of ancient Egypt. And it's like he focuses on elements that nobody else focuses on. What am I saying by this? Well, usually, if you're going to make a collection about Egypt, you're going to utilize all the cliches. There's going to be the pyramid. But Rick doesn't deliver just any form of pyramid. You see what I mean? It's a very, very different, it's kind of cut off. So you're going to usually see the pyramid. You're going to see that bird type of creature that's kind of standing like that. And then there's that like big round sun on top. You're going to have that lotus flower, holding the sun. You're going to have the scarabs. These are the cliches you're always going to see when somebody tackles Egypt. I love those cliches, don't get me wrong, but I was blown away when I saw Rick's version of Egypt, because he doesn't do any of that. None of the cliches. Everything is new. And yet you could see and feel that he's kind of hunting for those elements, for the texture and the vibe and the feeling that nobody else has gone for before. But in order to be able to do that, you need to know the design history of ancient Egypt, or the archaeological history, or just the history, or also their faith and religion, quite frankly. So, love it. Another one of the artists that I really enjoy is James Lee Byers. James Lee Byers unfortunately passed away many moons ago, but he was also very obsessed with ancient Egypt. And I've also always been very fascinated by how James Lee Byers depicted Egypt through his art. Now, he was an artist, not a designer, granted, but still, he also had a very different vision of ancient Egypt as opposed to many other artists that play with the cliches usually, you know? So James Lee Byers, awesome. Go check him out. And Rick Owens, baby, I'm in love. I found a new passion in life. Just when I thought that fashion was dead, here comes Rick to save the day. You guys, I mean, listen, this has been, for my, standards, also all in black and white, a different type of video. But nevertheless, these archaeological finds, look at me in front of the Edfu Temple. It's like, I found this in the temple. Me with the archaeological finds from Rick Owens. Oh my gosh, it just makes me so, so, so happy. It gives me hope for fashion. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you want to see more of these videos, and until next time, never give up on love and subscribe.